Make sure nothing's showing here. It's a family-friendly show. Hey, hi. All right. Hello.
Hello.
What's up?
What's going on? Happy Memorial Weekend. Or the day after Memorial
Weekend. It's
Weekend.
already 7 p.m. They went by fast.
Feels like 2 days for me.
You do have 2 days in one.
Just gonna say I probably look a little tired this episode, but that's okay.
You do have 2 days in one. Sorry, I'm just getting Do Not Disturb on. Here we go. Yeah, have you ever heard Ed Milet's little theory of his 3 days in one?
I usually just mute it when he starts yelling, but
He's like, I have 3 days in one day. So he's like,
yeah.
my day, I have what is it? From 6 a.m. to 12, that's a day. From 12 to 6, that's a day. From 6 to 12, that's a day.
He would take something that everybody does every single day and somehow make it better. That just seems like his personality. Like we all have 24 hours, but his 24 hours is actually 3 days. It's just a little bit better than yours.
Yeah. But if you really are super focused and you're like, you get so much done in 6
I have
hours.
3 days. I wake up for these 3 hours. I'm up 3 hours and take another nap. And I wake back up, work another 3 hours, take a nap. It's like 3 days for me.
Yeah, there you go. You do have multiple days in one day because nowadays when I wake up, you have already had 3 hours since you've been awake and doing stuff. So
Funny how the tables turn sometimes. I used to think, why does she get up so early?
Now it's you.
Yeah. Everything has its time and its place.
You were up at 6:30 and you were like, I gotta do something, I gotta get something done. I'm like, wow. You used to not be like that. I used to be like 9 a.m. Like,
yeah, that's true when we first met. But to be honest with you, only time I can get things done that is things that I need or for me is when you guys are asleep. So it's like when you guys are asleep, then I can.
True. You can do stuff during the day.
No, but you know,
you feel bad, you feel guilty.
I don't feel guilty. You guys just have my attention.
Yeah.
So when you're asleep, then
I
don't have to pay so much attention to you guys.
Stay asleep. Do you have any dad guilt? I know there's mom guilt. Is there such a thing as dad guilt?
You mean about leaving the baby? Or
Anything, yeah, about anything with the baby. Like your dad. What's the dad guilt that dads feel?
But I think that I have kind of just decided to be around more and do whatever it takes for me to spend more time with you guys and be around you and the baby. You know, that's been a very recent kind of discovery for me, is like thinking about how much my dad worked when I was young, leaving at dark, coming home at dark, and things just kind of stayed the same. I don't want that. I just don't want to relive that scenario where my mom, her husband, you know, my dad was gone all the time, always working, and she was always at home with the kids. And I just don't want that to be a thing with us.
Yeah. Yeah, same.
Not that some people choose to do their life however they want to do, and that's fine. I don't disagree with however other people figure it out. There's no rule book or handbook on how this stuff should be played out. It's case by case scenario. And just for me personally, as of late, I mean, I've had the ability to be here and be around and be with the kid and be with you. And I think it's been very rewarding, especially him being so little and so young.
The kid.
The kid.
I know they say he's not going to remember this, but in a way, I think they do, or at least just.
We're getting some very important time together, you know, me and him. And
yeah, I think it's important to build that foundation, whether it's, you don't want to like, okay, now he's 2 years old, now I'll start showing up. I think it's foundational before he's 2 to where he's already used to you. I feel like I shouldn't be the only face he sees all the time. I think it's good for him to see both of our faces as equally as possible.
Of course.
And I think I've wanted that from the beginning. I've told you that, you know, I've said, and I don't know if it's because I grew up like that, where my parents were very present in our lives. Like I saw them a lot. And yeah, and I just never wanted that dynamic where it was, okay, dad goes off to work and he's super busy and he leaves on the weekends or he goes on trips and travels for work. I've always wanted my family to be together as much as possible. And I think, yeah, I told you this. I told Granny like 2 weeks ago when I was gone for like 3 or 4 hours, and You were having a hard time with him, and because he was crying a lot, and it was the first time I was gone for more than like an hour.
Yeah.
And I was like, kind of regretting.
Yeah, that first hour, I was like, man.
Yeah, I was like regretting that, like, crap. Like, should I have done this?
That was the first time that me and him had been together for that long.
Yeah.
And so then I told you, I was like, honestly, it's something that we have to figure out.
Yeah, I can't. Because I was just driving home knowing you had such a hard time, and I was trying and praying. I just want my family to be together as much as possible. I just want it to work how it's supposed to. Yeah, and I don't want this. It would be hard for me to leave him for more than 5 hours for sure. Mm-hmm. So I don't know how you feel about leaving him for that long, but I definitely try to race back, It's not gone for long periods of time. By the time we wake up. Well, then I also know how it feels to just have him for 4 or 5 hours, and how sometimes. How I feel? Yeah. No, for real. Yeah. I'm an empath person, so it's like I automatically think she's been at home for 6 or 8 hours with the dog and with the baby, so the dog probably needs to go out. Somebody needs to be fed. Somebody needs to poop. Someone. Me included. Somebody needs to be fed. Fed and poop and eat and walk. Yes. But yeah, no, I think we're doing amazing. Honestly, yeah. People ask me, like, how's it going? Like, really, I don't think it could be going any better. I had to have some really personal and close talks. You've had to learn how I operate, and I have to learn how you operate. And I think sometimes, like you said, we were raised in two different families, and our priorities are different sometimes. And sometimes we have different techniques and different way we go about things. And so we have to be very communicative on that. And yeah, we have to learn each other. And so that's what we've been doing. But I feel like you've been, after I've said some things that I've needed to say, I feel like you've like opened up and allowed those things to be heard and to be felt. So I'm grateful and appreciative of that. Like what? I don't know. I feel like you're kind of a little bit more at ease, I guess, a little bit with everything. So yeah. With what? Maybe your routine. Maybe we've got like a little bit of a routine going down, and we know where we're supposed to be on what days and what times. And yeah, it's definitely taken both of us. It would be hard if it was just me doing this or just you doing this. So it's like, I think we've both had to appreciate each other for being there for one another and for our child. So it's like a new appreciation for one another. Yeah, I think you're doing awesome at being present. Like I texted you that the other day. I was like, I'm just so grateful you're present. Like you go do your thing and then you try to get a workout in, then you're right back home. And so you're not like, I'm gonna go do this, I'm gonna lollygag around. So yeah, I appreciate that. I appreciate you letting me have my alone time when I need it, whether I need to go work out, go shopping, go get my nails, or whatever I need to do. Yeah. So it's like I said, when people ask me how it is with a 3-month-old and us and everything, I'm like, we have a great balance going on right now. So super grateful for that. Yeah, we got to go up to Tampa a couple of days ago. So that's something I had been looking forward to doing, was going up to Bayshore Boulevard and seeing those guys from Golden Lotus and getting a little workout in. We could have stayed a little longer. I could have worked out, but we were a little late, I think. We did a little 5-minute challenge. That was pretty difficult. 100 dips and 50 pull-ups in 5 minutes. That's a challenge to all you people that think you can do 100 dips and 50 pull-ups just as fast as you can. Yeah, but you were sore the next day. So yeah, it just goes to show people like, I don't know what to do. It's like, just do one thing for a lot of reps. Pick 5 things. Yeah. Set a time. Like, okay, I'm going to try to do, just keep it simple. You can get sore. You can get a good workout by doing that. Right. No, that's awesome. I guess you did use equipment. You used the bars. But yeah, dip bars and pull-up bar. You could do 100 push-ups. You could do 100 crunches. So don't gotta make it difficult. Yeah. I think that was one of the things that we talked about, was how, they got into it and they were just working out at the park. Then they started working out in, I think, Rashad's backyard, and they got some weights, found some weights. And then as they're posting videos and all their friends are hearing about what they're doing, then people start kind of donating their old weight sets or some dumbbells, or, hey, found some plates over here, found a barbell. And so then one of their friends let them pour some concrete in the backyard, and they got a little slab, and it's the old school. It's the way to go, though. I love it. I love that kind of that
grunge, a little bit of dirty. Like that's how, I don't know, I feel like I grew up on it a little bit. Or my parents, they're late 80s, and that was when the tank tops and cut off, short denim shorts and all that stuff. So
They were swolled up.
yeah.
Yeah, so you're not into like the Lifetime fitnesses of the world.
No, I can get down with that too.
You could be super bougie.
No, I just think it's cool that, like, I don't know, bodybuilding has kind of its own thing, its own underground kind of thing to it. And then calisthenics kind of has its own kind of athletes. And I don't know, everybody kind of like specializes in something. Like those Golden Lotus guys, I guess they consider themselves like hybrid athletes. That's kind of what I am too, a little bit.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Calisthenics, weightlifting. I think it's not. It's good to have a nice combination of all that in your strength training, calisthenics, weights. Yeah, that hit training is good.
Yeah. And we always talk about how you could be strong and you could look strong, but then you go to run or you go to do 10 burpees and you're gassed.
Mm-hmm.
Like having that endurance and being able to look like a bodybuilder is,
that's true.
Is a perfect combination. And
yeah,
like you can look super strong and you could be super strong, but then what is that going to do for you in the long run? For your heart, your longevity, your
can you run a mile down the road?
like your cardiovascular. So I like looking strong while also being able to do sprints or being able to do HIIT. That's my
like being strong in the full range of motion and things, and being flexible is cool. I think it's awesome to be muscular and flexible at the same time.
Yeah.
And to be able to run and jump.
Yeah.
Athleticism is awesome, and it comes in very many different shapes and sizes.
Well, kind of like what you were saying earlier with the Golden Lotus guys, when you admire people that do have that like super hard discipline and somehow they kind of all get behind these people and like they fan out on them or they just they're really inspirational. Why do you think that is? Why do you think people from the outside looking at someone like that and like just wow, they're just amazed by them?
I think right now in the time that we live in is like it's rare for somebody to be so disciplined and so courageous in their path and their pursuit of just like going hard, and doing it the right way. And it's admirable because people wish they could do it and they want to do it. And one of two things happens when you see people like that, when you see like a David Goggins or an Iron Cowboy or Chad Wright or Cam Hanes or Joe Rogan, whoever these people that people are inspired by, whenever you see them like being really intense or whatever, either one of two things happens. Either you become inspired, and it helps bring you up a little bit, or you feel shame because you feel like you're not doing enough. Guilt and regret are kind of your guidelines. But nowadays, like more so than ever, there is more inspiration and more motivation out there than ever. There's more free content. There's more information than you could ever even use and read up on how to better yourself and how to get further ahead.
I agree. There is a lot of inspiration and motivation, but there's also equally as much distraction. I think why people...
Well, then that's why you have to be further in your self-mastery journey to not be distracted.
I do think people they'd rather scroll and look at the inspiration than actually get up and do something about it. So that's where I think people fall to their detriment. I'm so inspired, but like I just want to look at the inspiration. I don't actually want to be the inspiration.
So you don't think that you ever see one and it clicks with you and you're like, you know what? I could do a video like that, or I could do this, or I should try that push-up dip challenge, or I should try that.
Me? Yeah, most people.
So they say, inspiration spawns creation. When you're inspired by something, you get inspired, inspiration spawns creation. So then that spawns you to go create something on your own. So so you are inspired by it, whether you notice or not.
I just think there's a lot more distraction these days to where people they're more lazy. So they're not out there doing inspirational things. They're just more and more lazy, which I think is why more and more people are out of shape, overweight. I don't know. They just kind of get into this rut that they can't get out of.
There's more vices. There's more news media outlets. There's more places to get your information.
There's more. I got Snapchat, I got Instagram, I got TikTok, I got Facebook. Now there's like a new thing called CapCut, and it's just never ending with
What's that?
I don't know, it's like a video editing app software, but I think it's also like a feed, kind of a feed within it.
It's too much for me to keep up with. I can't even keep up with my email address, password, so
kind of technically challenged a little bit.
I would say I wouldn't even say challenged. I would just say
uninterested. That's good. I wish I wasn't uninterested in it. Unfortunately, I just built a lot through social media, and so it's kind of ingrained in my brain that you need it. I wish I didn't think like that. Maybe if I don't know, I've just always kind of go back to
been your marketing tool for you.
Yeah, it's even my way of expressing my creativity. I say, but yeah, it's weird because it's a weird thought process of because it didn't really social media probably didn't come about to 20 years ago. Would you say 20 15 years, 20 years ago?
Yeah, if that.
Anyway, it's very new. And obviously there were successful people before social media. So I don't know why, just in my mind, I'm like, no, you have to have social media.
Yeah. Well, it's become a very big part of our society.
Yeah.
But the truth is, if you turn it off, nothing changes.
Yep.
Actually, real life happens. And I had a pretty good life before I had social media. I was very in tune with the people that were around me and my family. I can remember the last time I was at a restaurant somewhere where there wasn't a soul on their cell phone, and that was at Aishin's Chicken in Okarche, Oklahoma. That was probably I don't know, at least 5 or 8 years ago, at least. And I just remember sitting out there and all the families were talking and eating and just conversing, and it was just being sucked back in a time machine of 20, 30 years ago, how things were.
And so that was happening when there was iPhones and social media, but just happened. No one was doing
They were just small town.
Yeah.
Really gonna talk to everybody I want to talk to is at the table.
Yeah. Gosh, such good times. That is one thing with having a child. I say it, and I'm really gonna try to stick to it, but I really don't want him looking at a screen for a really long time. I don't want him to get addicted to it.
Well, he's gonna say that's really easy for you to say, Mom, you have a podcast and you're on the computer all the time. And you're gonna say, well, this is my life. I'm an adult.
Okay, but those people that just buy their 2-year-olds an iPad and here you go. Leave me alone.
What are you gonna say whenever he wants more screen time? That's all.
He's even gets screen time to want more screen time until he's I don't know.
These are your thoughts. These are your perceptions. But you also didn't think he was going to have a pacifier in his mouth. How quick did that change? Things change. All the beliefs that you ever have will change in your lifetime.
But I showed you that video the other day, the iPad generation of its.
Yeah, but that's also a video that's 30 seconds of random children out in the universe. That is literally made to look like that. I can make a video look like that if I want.
I know.
You know what I mean? So you're seeing 30-second clips of kids that have been on the tablet for a total of, let's say, 10,000 hours or whatever, and they're having a bad 10 seconds. Yeah, kids are freaking out because the tablets are being taken away. That video was just a portion of the bad that happens with the tablets. Is there good that happens? Sure, those kids behave, they mind, but it's just like anything else. You need to moderate, what you're doing. The time on the tablet or the screen. There needs to be
regulation.
Yeah, a healthy dose of all of that stuff.
Yeah. We'll see.
Yeah, we'll see.
I really just don't.
He might be uninterested too. Yeah. Hopefully he's
I won't
uninterested.
I won't say their names or how I know them, but I know a couple that their kids, one is over 2 and one is less than 1, but they don't do screens, and their kids have never asked for a screen. You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. It's not I want one. So I think when you alleviate it being in front of them so much, they're less likely to.
Okay, so let's say this. Let's just say
it's on us to
devil's advocate here. No screen time for your kids. They don't really know about tablets. They get to middle school and they're put into middle school, and all of a sudden all their homework's done on a tablet. Are you going to be upset that your child's a little bit further behind because they've never been on a tablet, whereas this kid in 6th or 7th grade that's had one since he was 4 knows all the ins and outs of it, and your child's now behind? Does that upset you, or do you feel like your kid's now behind? So it's like, this is the kind of pressures that you're going to be faced with.
I would have to say, well, my kid is probably way most you by being on a tablet. He could like,
he's like, I can snap an iPad in half.
He could climb trees.
Yeah.
He could start a fire.
Yeah, right. He's like, I have my flint and I have.
This is why
He's like, I'm an Eagle Scout.
My dream
Can't turn on an iPad, but
my dream would just be to the first 4 or 5 years of his life, just be outside in nature as much as possible, and not in the house on a tablet.
Already, I can see that he responds well to being outside, being near water.
Yeah, it's awesome.
Being in the water, it's like
my dream is already coming true.
Yeah, it's forcing us.
He loves to be outside. He never cries outside. We take him outside to stop crying.
Yeah.
And then you run the bath water to stop crying, or take him down to the pool or whatever. Yeah, he loves to be outside.
It's almost like he can't cry when he's outside. It's so crazy. He's like, I want to, but I can't.
This vitamin D. Yeah, we were outside a lot of the weekend, which is good. We got him acclimated to the pool and went to the pool Friday, Saturday, and then put him in the raft and his floaty. On Friday, he didn't love it, but Saturday, he slept for an hour in the floaty in the pool, just crashed out. Yeah.
He loves it.
We're trying to, I'm trying to get him acclimated to our life, as opposed to we have to cater to his small baby needs,
Well, he ran me today for about an hour. And you think you're tough. You gotta handle that baby boy crying.
I think it is. He just doesn't see you as much. I don't know. Do you think that's why? Like, he woke up and I wasn't there? He's like,
I think he was just tired, and I was trying to get him to fall asleep, and I didn't have the magic touch. I needed a little bit more patience. And
yeah, I think you try to do, if something isn't working in 5 seconds, you're like, okay, on to the next. What can I try? I think I'm more like, let's try this for a while.
Yeah, I'm like, get his eyes shut so I can.
Oh no, things everywhere. You took stuff out of the bassinet, which clearly means you tried the bassinet, and he hasn't been the bassinet in like a month or 2 months.
That almost worked.
I really love it. I have no complaints about.
Yeah, because they say give a busy. If you want a busy person, or what is it? If you need something done, ask a busy person to do it. That's what it is, right?
So I'm a busy person. I like things on my plate.
Yeah.
I do.
You're busy, busybody.
But I mean, babies are hard. Like you were saying earlier, even if he's crying, I'm like, I just love it. It's just awesome.
Yeah, I wouldn't say it. I mean, it's hard. It's just totally an adjustment, and you gotta have patience. And yeah,
I definitely think I've developed patience.
Come a long way in that department
since having him, for sure. And
I think you seriously.
Like at the beginning, you said I'm more at ease. I do feel more, just a little bit more laid back. Mm-hmm. Although I still stress in some areas, as far as I want the best for him and us, and I'm like, oh, what are we doing with our lives?
But that's something you're gonna wonder from now on, because you've been wondering already for 34 years. So why would you stop worrying next year about what's going on?
Do you not have that though?
I mean, there's times, I guess I would say, but it's kind of like, did you worry about your existence before you got here? No.
What I was doing before I got here.
Yeah, you weren't worried about your existence, and it's like same thing with death. It's like you're not going to be worried about it when you're gone. In the in between, you should just try to enjoy it, really, because it's a really special time, and you don't get a lot of it. So.
Yeah. You're saying you don't worry about your existence. You don't worry what you're doing.
There's nothing to be.
You're existing.
There's nothing to be really worried about. I mean,
I know you shouldn't worry because it's a very bad attribute. You should not worry. That's the
I
worst.
mean, I get stressed out about stuff just like anybody else, but I would say I'm naturally less stressed than most people.
Yeah.
Because things don't bother me.
You only stress about things when they arise, where I'm more of like stressed when nothing's happening, and I'm stressed when things are happening.
Right. Yeah.
You know, they say it takes the same amount of energy to pray as it does to worry. You should really just pray about it. If you have a worry thought, you just pray. There's no point in worrying.
Well, even prayer is like is an action. You know, at least you're making some action towards
the worry.
The problem, whatever that problem is.
Yeah.
You're addressing it in your mind with your God. So
I'm gonna assume your dad didn't worry about a lot of stuff.
No, he was so in the moment, and yeah, I mean, not to say that he didn't stress or worry about things, but kind of embrace simplicity and have few desires. And you have few desires and not a ton, you don't have a lot to worry about.
Yeah.
As long as the things that you are worrying about are important to you, I guess.
So how many desires do you think you have? Like
Yeah.
What are your desires?
I always wanted to have a family and have a little boy, so that was one of my desires.
So you don't gotta worry about that.
And that's why I felt like a little bit of relief lately, which is kind of, most people when they have a child, they're probably not like, whew, yeah, relieved. It's like, it's like, this doesn't sound like something people would say, but for me, it's like I felt a sense of relief in having a kid. Because I'm like, wow, okay, like,
that's over. That part's done.
It's not a worry or a stress anymore. It's like, am I ever gonna be a dad? Am I ever gonna be a good dad? It's like, no, now I got that opportunity and it's here, so now I get to try to be a good dad every day.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Good.
Yeah. I was just talking to my friend Kenny today. He became a dad right before me and had a little girl, and he's like, dude, how are you? What do you think? And how's your family? He's like, dude, I didn't know I was gonna become a dad. I was thinking maybe I was getting too old and maybe I would never be a dad. But he's like, now that I'm a dad, it's awesome, dude. And I was like, I think it's cool that I get to experience everything for a first time again with him. So it's like everything that he does will be like, we're playing baseball. It's like, oh, I've played baseball all the time, but here we are again, or it's gonna be me getting to relive all those memories and getting to relive that fun stuff and experiencing things for the first time. It's always exciting to see.
It's like through his eyes, you see it and relive it.
I remember, this is like kind of random, but I remember one time, I went down to Siesta Key. I don't know if my phone was broken or I needed to go change it in and get a new one. So it was going to be like a couple of days till they sent me a new one or something. So for a few days, I didn't have a phone, and I went down to Siesta Key by myself, just all alone. And I'd probably lived here a couple of years by that time. And I'm walking around the village, and I'm like, I was watching other people appreciate Siesta Key. Like I was just watching them because I had already enjoyed it. I live here now. This is just where I live now, and getting to see other people eating ice cream and walking and having a good time, and little kids on the, out on the beach in the sand, like kids playing in the sand pile for the first time, and just like parents and families that spend a lot of money to stay there for a few days at a time. And I was just like, you know what? Like my life actually is really good. Like I live in a pretty amazing place where people are coming here, spending a lot of money and bringing their family somewhere to show them something really beautiful. And so I was like, it's like getting to see other people appreciate what you have or what you have going on too is nice. To see other people happy.
Speaking of you not having a phone, let's talk about that video you sent me. And I know this is only one person's perspective, but that guy that he went away into like a remote area, into his like a cabin or whatever, and then he locked his phone away for 4 days, and
that's what he said.
That's what he said. Yeah. I mean, it could all be fully fake, but I think it's real. But he
didn't have his camera, but he was getting some camera angles somehow, or he didn't have
a camera. Yeah. But yeah, he said he like didn't know how long it would take him to kind of relieve some stress, not have so much anxiety. And I think he said it was what, like 72 hours or less.
Maybe it's like 50.
It was like, yeah, 52 or 54 hours. He was like, all my anxieties went away. I didn't feel as stressed. I don't know. I just thought that
I
was
think you start becoming more in tune with the nature.
Yeah. Yeah.
Like you slow down and start watching the squirrels and
have a phone and be out in nature and for like months at a time.
see, but that's the thing is like you wish that and you say you wish that, but that's a hypothetical wish because you're not willing to actually do that.
I am, but I feel like my phone is my source of income.
I know. So you have to figure out a way if that's truly something you want.
Yeah. It's something you have to be able to say, okay, I'm going to work, but I'm going to take a month completely off of my phone and not have to talk to anyone. I mean, I don't know how realistic that is, but
it's realistic. I'm sure people do it.
Yeah. Yeah, I'm sure people do it. But I would love to just see what happens with my mental, with my distractions, with anxieties.
How you feel and
yeah, my goals. Like, can I stick to what I say I'm going to do more and obviously having less distraction?
I think it would definitely be good for you because it would, you take all those distractions away, then what you're dealing with is just you and what's right in front of you, right? So I told you that a long time ago. I had this like moment of enlightenment or whatnot where I realized if I can handle myself within this 5-10 feet, I can do push-ups, sit-ups, whatever, make myself feel better. I can sit here and draw, I can read, I can write, like all that stuff I can manage right here in this little tiny area. And that I can sing, like I mean, rap, I can make poems, like so that's all stuff that I can manage in my own little confined space. And if you learn how to, I would say, hone in on that, then nothing else can really get in your bubble a little bit. So work on that little bubble, you and yourself. There's only two kinds of talking that we do to others and the talking that we do to ourselves. So we have to make sure that they're both kind and take care of that area that you got. And wherever you take that with you around the world, then it's good, you know? Wherever you go, there you are.
Wherever you go, there you are. Exactly.
If you're lonely when you're alone, you're in bad company.
Let's talk about, we don't really talk about our work, our clients a lot. Talk about, yeah, just kind of like who we like to help, who seeks our help, kind of what we got going on with that and where we're trying to take that.
Well, lately I've had a lot of my friends reaching out to me, friends from back home, and that need a little bit of assistance or guidance in their fitness journey. And it's kind of crazy that it's all happening now because I remember when I first moved out here away from Oklahoma into Florida, there was some times where I was like lonely. I was like really lonely for friendship and companionship. I just thought like, man, I don't know if I made the right move coming out here. But I just like kind of took all that energy, all that sadness, loneliness, depression, all this I had, and I went out in the sun and I went running and I went walking and I just didn't stop. And I would run mornings, night, I work out during the day, whatever I could to try to get my mind and my body right. And now that I've put myself through all of that and had proper training and I've got some certifications and like I was on that journey for a reason. I was on that lonely journey for a reason. And it was to get right with myself, to get right spiritually, mentally, emotionally. And then when I get to this level that I'm at now I can help people out with their physical fitness too. And it's like, we all want to be there spiritually, mentally, emotionally, physically. But there's always a department. One of them maybe is lagging a little bit. So we got to seek those people's advice that have or are where we want to be. And I think some of my friends see me where I'm at physically and they're like, damn, Tyler's killing it. It's like, yeah, well, it started years and years ago. And if you don't start as soon, if you don't start now, it's going to be harder years later. So one of my friends that I'm training recently, he was like, man, he said after a couple of weeks, like, dude, I wish I would have started this a lot sooner. I was like, I know. He's like, he's telling me my feet are already stronger. Like on my runs, I can already tell on my feet I'm stronger. I'm like, yeah,
Yeah.
it's only a couple weeks, you know.
Yeah. Yeah, that's what we were kind of saying with the Boldest and Lotus guys. And I think that is one of the best things I ever did. I mean, not only for my business and brand, but for my motivation of myself is doing that fitness competition. And I always say that, but I saw my body at its ultimate peak. Like I saw what my body could do. And I think a lot of people never get there. I mean, usually people are slowly declining year after year. But when you have that mental image of you accomplishing a very challenging physical challenge or a competition, whatever you choose to do, whether it be a marathon or losing weight or hitting a goal, I think it's you have physical proof that you saw with your own eyes and felt it that your body could do that. So I just think a lot of people don't get to that point. And so for me, it's always like I have no excuses because I know what my body could do, what it looked like, and how I felt. Whereas if someone's never reached that, how they're going to be like, well, I've never had that. So how can I have something that I've never had before? And it's harder to start.
But everything has its time and its place. Hard for you, someone that just had a baby, to look like they did when they were 18, 19 years old, just because time, you know, and things change. But you know how you felt then. You remember how good it felt. You remember how in tune you were. You remember how strict and regimented you were. So you know that's what it's going to take to get there again.
And we have a baby wanted to make an appearance.
So you were talking about basically like not knowing what you're capable of, or when you find out what you're capable of by getting yourself to the next level or whatnot. Our friend Ryan Legg is somebody that just completed a marathon, and now he's stepped up to what, 35 miles?
Yeah, he did the marathon and then got the bug and it went up to 38-mile run. And I'm sure he's doing something else. And yeah, so that's, just proof. He's like, well, shoot, I didn't know I could do a marathon. What else could I do?
Now he's going to be running from New York City down to Los Angeles. Careful.
And I think that's what a lot of your clients are coming to you for, because they kind of reach that breaking point of like, all right, I've never felt good in my body, and I think you are someone who exemplifies someone that feels good in his body.
Yeah. Yeah.
They're coming to you and they're like, okay, I'm ready to reach my full potential, at least physically.
Yeah.
What does that feel like? They're eager to know what that feels like,
Yeah. I think I'm comfortable in my own skin. I don't know, I've kind of been like that for a while though. I was thinking since I was probably at least 14, 15, like just being comfortable in my own skin, yeah, these people are coming to us because they just need a little bit of guidance and accountability. And you and I have been doing these things separately, training people for a while now. So, it's like now we've teamed up and started helping out families, and eventually we'll be helping out businesses, and assisting these people and trying to make the right decisions and right habits, and not get turned on by these buzzwords and these things that are, they're sugar free or whatever, gluten free, this, and you're starting to wonder, what is this that I'm even taking in? It's like, kind of like you said, boring is good. And so we keep it simple.
I liked what you said earlier off camera, but just you take out the guesswork of what to do as far as exercise and eating right. I think it's just so confusing for people nowadays to know what to do. And
as far as me, for like the personal training, I think where I've like really stepped up my game, or where I've learned and become, in my mind, a really good trainer, a fitness trainer, is that you have to assess these people. You have to understand their athleticism. You have to understand their injuries, what hurts them, what is nagging them. Okay. And then, in my opinion, like a HIIT style of training, like high intensity interval training, is great, and you're going to get great benefits out of it. but it's kind of like a one size fits all. So if we have 20 or 30 people in one class, everybody's going to get a lot of results out of these if we all do the exact same exercises. But what you do as a personal trainer, or what I try to do, is I assess these people and I say, okay, well, this is where their problems are. Like, you're a runner. Like, okay, yeah, you're a runner. You enjoy running 40, 50 miles sometimes. Okay, well, I can see that your ankles are weak. Like, that's a problem. Like, you're a big time runner and your ankles are weak. I guarantee we can cut some time down and get a little bit better results, and your knees aren't going to hurt if we make those ankles a little bit more stable. You're an 11-year-old kid and you play baseball. Okay, well, your parents are worried because you can't do a bunch of push ups. Guess what? Not a lot of 11-year-old kids are smashing push ups. You know what I mean? So maybe that's not something we necessarily need to base everything around as a push up. There's other exercises that we can either regress from a push up, and eventually when they get there, we progress. So that's one thing that you have to do as a trainer. If you're a good trainer, you find out what level someone's on. You find out, do you need to regress this movement? Do you need to progress this movement? And when they do eventually get to a certain level, then you need to take it up another notch, because you don't want people just plateauing out. So
yeah, stagnant. Yeah, I will say everyone who goes into a HIIT workout probably has some sort of ailment or something they need to work on. I know I do. Like, I can do a HIIT workout, but I can't run. I can't run more than 2 miles without my knee hurting.
Okay, and here's another example of that is you can still be in top-notch shape and not run. Like Kamaru Usman, I think I've said this before, was the UFC champion for a long time, and his knees were so bad he couldn't run. How does he stay in top-notch shape? Well, he found other ways around it. So that's kind of what you have to do.
Yeah, and if you don't want to run, don't run. But I think for me, I think it'd be a challenge for me that I'm just over here. I'm like, God, I really wish I could do that. I wish I could run. I wish I could run at least even a 5K.
That's how you know that it's something that you should do. Like for me, I ran the half marathon. When do you see me run?
It's never.
I don't
I
run.
train for that.
Yeah.
Yeah, but I think but then it's like, okay, I discovered something I need to work on by having that desire, if that makes sense. Like, I need to work on my knee strength or my ankles or my feet or whatever, but I wouldn't have known that had I been like, I want to try running. And then I ran and I was like, oh crap, I can't run. So kind of just opens up new levels of ways you could be in more like higher potential of your physical
Athleticism.
yeah
Yeah. Yeah.
like going to like I will always say I loved Orange Theory. Like,
Yeah.
some people don't like it.
Yeah.
I was awesome at it. I loved it. It was like the best shape ever. But now I don't feel like I could go do the runs because I feel like my knee hurts.
Well, you're just not in that repetition
Yeah.
of doing those workouts. Your baseline level's not at those baseline
Yeah.
level workouts. Or
Yeah. Let's talk about kind of our new clients we're bringing on, and we had that consultation with them, and they basically I liked that the guy was just like, he was just very honest. He was like, I have no routine. I have no healthy routine, so to speak. He has a routine as far as getting to work and going home.
So I think what's good about that, or what's good and bad about that, is when you're very new to the fitness game, you get those results quicker. Like within the first 3 months, if you're eating everything right and you're working out right, you're gonna be like, dang, like muscles kind of coming in a little bit, or you'll notice. But then sometimes you plateau out and then you're like, dude, I don't think this is working anymore.
Yeah.
And so it's not something that you can have instant gratification in. It's not something that you look in the mirror every day and can even see a change. Like, it's almost like some people can notice it first, or yeah, especially people that don't see you for weeks at a time, or a month here, a month there. So you have to kind of chase that feeling.
Yeah. I liked what I had Tara on recently, and I liked what she said. She's an online fitness coach, but she basically said, I don't really know this science or behind it, whatever, but she said you should spend half the year actually trying to attain a goal, and then about the other half, 6 months of the year, just maintaining in maintain mode. So you don't always have to be chasing.
That's kind of what I do with my show.
Yeah.
As far as the show, it's like last year I was kind of knew it was coming. Then when it gets down closer to it, I really cut it, like really hone in on the food. And then afterwards, I'm splurging because it's like, oh, well,
Yeah.
show's over. All right, I can eat a little bit different, but I still want to go to the gym because I enjoy the gym. So that's going to be a part of it no matter what. But
yeah, so I like that. 'Cause it's like people always think they have to be, okay, I lost that 20 pounds. Now what's next? It's like, or just maintain that 20-pound weight loss that you just got.
Yeah, I was going to say, you want to get to a point where all you're doing is maintaining. If you could just get to the point where you're really satisfied and that's all you have to do is maintain that, well, that's good.
Something that I've recently discovered about my own self and that's come up multiple times, and even just talking to those people about, how we're going to work with them, but just having a very specific goal and how that actually helps your mind and your mental when you're chasing that goal. So what I kind of say is like having a specific goal will cultivate positive emotion when you're like, okay, like, so even just me talking about how I was like, okay, because I'm very multi-passionate. I have a lot of things going at once all the time. And I'm like, what is my actual goal? What am I focusing on? What am I trying to grow? What target am I trying to hit? And I think for me, a physical goal is always the best for me because I know how to get to it. I know what it takes. And then I know that by hitting that physical goal, I do better in all areas of my life. I'm more structured, more routine in different areas of my life. So anyways, just even having that conversation and just even deciding that that was my goal, like, okay, the goal I'm going to do is like a physical one, whether it be that show that you're going to do that I also do or whatever. I just got positive emotion like that day just from even deciding that I was going to do that,
Yeah.
And then it was like exciting. And it's like, okay, and then we're doing it. And then it was like, we went to the store, we meal prepped, we ate our healthy food all week. We went to the,
so that right there,
structure and routine in your life by just picking a goal and then okay, this is the goal. I think people wake up and they have no goal. They have no
that one good thought. It was just one good thought that you had. That one good thought that you had led to the meal prepping, to the food. So that one good
decision, yeah, the thought and the decision, yeah.
Yeah, so it's kind of the same thing with these people that are needing help. They're having that thought of, I need to do something, and they're making it happen. So it's good.
Yeah. Yeah, deciding to hire us is kind of the decision to kind of get that momentum going.
Right.
And that creates that positive emotion. Now they have something to look forward to. Now they know 3 days a week they have to be somewhere at a certain time. Now they know that they have to start making better decisions with their food. And so
basically what I was going to say is so that leads them into that, and then they have no direction. But once we give them a few basic skills and know how to navigate food and things like that, when they do work out and they get done with their workout, like some of my new clients, when they get done, I know that they're not going to go straight ahead for Chick-fil-A or because they're going to be like, I just had that good workout, so I should probably do what he says. Just eat my greens and, eat this chicken or eat this turkey. Because they made that good decision to work out, then another good decision is going to happen, and that's going to be, all right, let's eat that good food. So boom, you just worked out, you had a good meal, clean, things are good. Now let's say a few more hours roll around, a couple people call you to go out, and you're like, you look at the time, probably shouldn't go out and not get good sleep tonight. Gotta get up early. Then you get your sleep, wake up early, not hungover. There you go, way better than could have got a half-ass workout or no workout. Could have went and ate your Chick-fil-A. Could have went out for drinks that night. Been dehydrated, not got sleep, and then wake up and your next day is completely different.
Yeah. Yeah, so I would just really encourage people to, if you're just having a groundhog day every day where you wake up and your life seems purposeless or meaningless or hopeless, it's like, what goal are you trying to achieve right now? It could be anything. It could be not just physical, it could be socially, it could be financially, it could be just something you want to create, something you're striving to create, even if you never show it to the world. Just, I think having that specific goal creates those habits.
Show it to the world.
Well, then it creates that positive, but don't do it for that. Don't do it for, oh, I'm only doing this to show the world. Like, do it for you. And then if you want to show the world, show it. But I think that really does. Like, I just remember.
So what's your specific goal?
Kind of really getting into like show ready, even if I don't end up doing the show. I want to meal prep like I'm doing it. I want to work out like I'm doing it. I want to think like I'm doing it, have those better habits, not drink, do some cardio, like just, yeah. And then that
So I'm glad you asked. My specific goal is.
Hey,
I'm glad you asked. I'm glad you asked. My specific goal.
Let me say, every time that we are in conversation and I ask you a question, you never reciprocate and ask me the same question. Like, oh, what about you? It's like you answered and you're like, so anyway.
Yeah, I'm not very reciprocating.
So that could be a goal of yours. Ask better question.
So my question was just to ask you what your physical goal was, other than having a child this year.
What's your specific goal?
I want to be the number 1 male physique on the stage for 35 plus.
Like in the open category? That'd be open or overall?
I don't know what the difference is.
So you can win your class, which is your height, and then if you win your class, you go into
35 plus overall.
Okay, so overall, yeah, you want to win overall and get that big trophy, right?
I think what I get last time, I got
won your class.
Got first on 35 plus.
Yeah, so you won your class, and then you went open, which is the winner of each class, but you didn't win that.
What did I get? Second or third? See, I don't even know what categories I'm in. I just get up there. I just get up there and flex. No, but I wanted to do good for my age group, for being 35 years and older. I think that's for me a big accomplishment, because I just remember being a young man and like really admiring these dudes with jacked physiques, and they were just shredded. And I was like, I want to be like that one day. And like my friends kind of laughing, they're like, you're not going to be like this dude. And I'm like, yes, I am. Like, I know I am. Like, because I just admired that more than anything in the world. It's like, you can't tell me that I can't look like that, because I know I can get there. But it took 10 plus years.
Yeah. But I would say you weren't fully dedicated and disciplined hardcore. If you were, you probably would have got there sooner.
Yeah. Well, if I would have learned more and had more knowledge and would have had a good trainer, and, but I had a lot of people that I learned from along the way.
What do you think couples or families struggle with the most when it does come to living a healthy lifestyle? Like, why can we do it when other people can't?
People don't want to do it.
Why not?
They don't want to. Because, like, literally, it takes hard work to be in shape and to work out, and to, like, it takes every day, of being conscious of it. I think where you and I maybe have a little bit more advantage than other people is when we look at a food, we know what it's made of. We look at a food, we know, is that carbohydrates? Is that a fat? Is that protein? Is that, what do I need right now? You know what I mean? Where most people are like, I'm hungry, I don't know, just give me that. Like, they don't know what kind of effect that has when they put it in their face. It's like, I don't know, I'm hungry. Like, I ate that. It's like, okay, well, this is why you're feeling bloated, or this is why your insulin levels are spiking, or this is, why
you're fatigued, why you have no energy, why you're
this is why you're sweating right after you eat all this. It's like,
or why you crave more sugar and carbs. Yeah.
No,
do you think it's just a lack of knowledge?
It's lack of knowledge, lack of discipline. It's years and years of stacking it on top of each other. So, yeah, it's the days and days.
Start that anytime. People can start to learn.
Well, they should have started yesterday.
In 5 years, they could be a lot farther along.
Yeah.
They just got to start. I think people are like, oh, it's too late. I didn't start when I was 25. I'm 35.
No, it's never too late. First off, it's never too late. But the sooner you start, the better it is for you. I have people in their 70s, a couple people in their 70s. Those people in their 70s are actually the most dedicated, the most disciplined. They pay the money. They never complain about the money or the time. They are, older people are the best clients. They are top notch. They're the best. However, every single one of those older clients will tell you that they should have been doing this. And one of my clients, he has been doing it for a long time, but he says, I can only imagine where I would be if I wasn't doing this. You know, he's 73, 74, and he's going skiing a couple times a year. He said, well, I'm having trouble getting up when I, fall down. That's something we've had to work on. And his air and his oxygen. That's exactly what I said. I said, what?
Just be better at skiing.
Don't fall down. Gotta keep you upright.
So we should have done this at the very beginning because now we've had this blank white sheet of paper.
Yeah, why didn't you think about that?
Forget about the picture. So do you want to show the picture?
Sure. Yeah, this is us.
Yeah, first it's us. This is us with our first child, where this human child came along, and we were Silverthorne.
Yeah, Silverthorne, Colorado. Yeah, that's a good time.
This represents really our love for travel, love for Berkeley, love for exploring, being out in nature. Now we're going to have a crying baby.
Mm-hmm.
It's okay.
You don't have to. You don't have to cry.
Yeah, we should have shown that.
Mm-hmm. It's okay.
Let's see. We want to face the camera.
No, it's bright, he said. What the heck?
Yeah, I just think that it's a good representation of us. Just kids in our furry baby.
He's awesome.
In nature. And that's
Berkeley's awesome. Yeah, bud. We gotta go, bud. Yeah, we gotta go.
We only get about 45 minutes to an hour to do anything. And then it's taking care of this.
Tyson's world.
We love him.
Awesome.
All right. Good chat.
I'll remember to ask you more questions next time.
Yeah, that'd be nice.
Be a little bit better.
Be nice to talk.
I'm always on the defense and not the offense.
Okay.
All right. Love you guys.
Love you.